want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window. Open it. And stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Good evening, everybody. It's Dave Matthews here with Personal Navigation. Wake up before we're fucked special. If you want to phone into the show, you can. I'm just waiting for somebody to put the phone number in the chat box, or you can Skype in on Bob's Backyard. As always, we welcome any input. I'm only going to do an hour tonight because I've really got to get on top of paperwork and stuff. So, where do I start? What a week it's been. Liam Taylor, Guy Taylor's son, had an eviction yesterday, which he'd received. He was under the new eviction rules. I don't know when they came in exactly, but he was due. They did an accelerated eviction order, which means that he didn't get to go to a hearing. Just so everybody's aware, at the moment I can't see the chat box. I can't seem to find where it's gone. I've got it now, I think. Sorry about that. So the eviction date was yesterday. We were going to go up, but in the end we couldn't get up there, and he thought it was Thursday and he got the wrong day and stuff like that. So the advice of Guy, his dad, and I guess me as well, we basically said peacefully resist. So he started. The bailiff got there at 10 o'clock yesterday morning to evict him. He's paying his rent and everything. It was just the landlord had bought up a load of houses in the area and decided that he was going to evict all of the tenants. So bailiffs got there at 10 or 10:30 in the morning yesterday in the sweltering hot. He phoned the police, and the police were sort of. Liam said that the police were sort of a little bit. They were provoking him a little bit, I suppose, and trying to get a bit of a rise out of him, but he didn't. He just let them know, made them aware, I'm going to peacefully resist the eviction. So they said, well, if he did that, they were going to come and arrest him for breach of the peace. So through the day, he was calling. He had the camera on the bailiff most of the day. The bailiff was sweating his mouth off in the car, sitting in the car, wouldn't get out of the car. The police just didn't turn up, and the bailiff drove off at 5:45 last night. So no eviction took place. So just want to say well done to Liam. That's the first time he's ever done anything like that. So he was kind of nervous, but I think having people on the end of the phone sort of give him a bit of confidence, I guess. Then this morning he phoned and the bailiffs were outside. The bailiffs were driving past, I suppose just an intimidation tactic, I guess. So he sort of filmed them. As soon as he'd filmed them, they, get out of the area quickly and one thing and another. And I just heard that tomorrow, if anybody can attend, tomorrow apparently they're turning up with the police in the morning. Whether that will be correct or not, I do not know, because the notice only covered the actual day. There's been a few things just been brought to my attention through sort of Facebook and a few other places. I just saw that about the IBM taking over the police in Devon and Cornwall, I believe. That's a little bit scary, a private corporation taking over an existing corporation, but obviously IBM do 100% trade for profit, and I think G4S, who I believe is something to do with the Warburg family, have taken over Nottingham police, or bought Nottingham police out. So we've kind of got a lot of big issues going on right now, and especially after Sarah's show last night. It was a brilliant show, Darkcity Round Table. A lot of input from the guys as usual, but we've got sort of the corporations taking over and gradually, tightening the knot on us all, coupled with this guilty by association or joint enterprise, which seemed very, very scary to me. I mean, there's a 13-year-old lad in prison. There's a I can't remember the age. I think it's 15. There's a blind boy in prison who's 15, and they're serving, 30 years. They've been given 30-year sentences. In some cases, just for receiving a phone call an hour after the event. So they weren't anything to do with what had happened. They weren't there. They literally received a phone call off the perpetrator an hour later, and they were found guilty by association under the joint enterprise law. And it just makes me worry. Either, if you look back, I've suggested to Gloria just now to write to the Ministry of Justice and actually start building some sort of evidence that there would be conflicts of interest and it would be beneficial to send people to prison. If we can sort of start to create some sort of evidence, it doesn't matter, if it would be, well, it does matter if it would be successful. That's wrong. It does matter. But if we can build a case, some sort of a case showing that it is profitable to send people to prison, and showing that the police and all of these sort of franchises are, trading for profit and their primary interest is profit, then at least we have some sort of a chance of waking people up in the masses. Because I'm not usually, I still don't fear, but this concerns me more than anything I've heard lately, because if you couple that with secret courts, there would just be no end to how much they could abuse that rule. And if that is, it used to be the case that if you were, if you went to pantomime court, aka magistrates court, and you went, to a higher, wig head court where they all walk around in sheep's wigs, you would at that level begin to get some sort of remedy. But it would now appear that even when you get to that level, the wig heads walking round and going out for lunch together. And again, we were talking about it last night on the show. If you go and sit in a court for an afternoon, like a Crown Court, and just listen to what goes on, it's laughable, because the prosecution barrister and the defence barrister, they're having a right little chinwag. Oh, well, what do you think about this? And they're laughing and joking about these people's lives who they're about to send to prison or not send to prison. And I think they've compartmentalized them in a way, whereas they've forgotten that they are human beings. It's like as if they're talking about pieces of crap or some shit stain on their trousers. They forget that this is people's lives, and many, many, many people who are being found guilty under this joint enterprise are innocent people. They weren't there. They were nothing to do with it. I think Gloria was saying, I mean, I would have to look into this, and for no reason do I think that Gloria would be, telling any lies in any way, shape or form about it. She has no reason to, because she's all about the justice. But, one guy rented a car for the afternoon, and then some other people got the car and committed a crime, and the guy who rented the car was found guilty of murder. It's a very, very scary place that we're living in, and more and more and more, wherever there's a new law or something crazy like this going on, you can always follow the money. You start to look into it, and it would appear that we're just pieces of, we're prophets. We're I don't know how you'd describe us really, but we're not treated with any respect. Our inherent rights, if you like, aren't being protected anymore. You've got the Ben Fellows case, which is ongoing. Sarah Lioness confirming the other week that the ministers and the cabinet are above the law. Above the law, how can that be if we are all equal in law? It doesn't make any sense. But the people around the world, and like I said last week, the young people who are coming through, the people who have not been brought up on the BBC like we all were years ago, where the BBC, the telly was a fascinating thing in the corner of the room, and it was God. It was, this all-seeing, this all talking eye that gave us all the information. Young people are not getting their information from the TV. They're not listening to the news. They don't give a flying fuck about the news. They really don't. I don't think that my son would watch the news. He wouldn't have a clue what's going on. He knows about rappers and lots of other things that are going on, or things that go viral on Facebook, or some idiot falling down a set of steps on a skateboard. But does he know what's going on the news? No. So that's kind of my hope. That's where my hope is. It really is in the young people, because me, telling it like it is on here once a week really isn't doing enough. We got the rest of the Darkcity crew are running around and Paul and, well, a lot of the guys are working relentlessly. Paul spends a hell of a lot of time tied to the Darkcity radio to make sure that it's kept running, but they are the guys that are putting so much of their energy in, and I'm guilty of not putting enough energy in, I really am. But when we get the young people, that's when the thing's going to really take off, I think, because the old people are some of them are just too old to care. Some of them haven't got any fight in them. And a lot of people are just frightened to death, So it's all, we're just fucked. If people don't wake up, we're going to be fucked. So wake up, people. Stop being part of this corrupt system. Start taking charge of your life. Stop, spending money on bullshit that you don't need. Start spreading the word about Rick Simpson and, hemp oil, and start spreading the word. Tell anybody who will listen to you. Doesn't matter how much they look at me like I got horns growing out of my head sometimes. I don't care. I will tell people, and until I'm blue in the face, I will tell people who think I am clinically insane what's going on in the world, because the bigger picture is really starting to show through now. And I never used to sort of be part of that, because I don't really like giving energy to it. But we really are in trouble. These corporations are winning. They really are. Where I think Franco Collins, who's coming on Jabba's show, has described us as, pawns in a game, for the elite, if you like. And a lot of people are starting to get the idea of that. But the majority, the critical mass, would think that you're absolutely crazy for thinking something like that. So, And I think, I don't know, I can't see who's in the chat box or anything, so I don't know if anybody wants to add anything at this moment, because I cannot see anything on my screen at all.
No, you're good, Dave. Lee's with you, but he's just listening in for the time being.
Yeah, that's fine, no problem at all. No, there's, because I can't see anything. I can't see anything that's going on. So, yeah, I guess we had Sudama phone me earlier on. He's been in for his case today. He didn't quite catch what they said in there, unfortunately, but when they started off, there was a really big panic, because the prosecutor had said something that they shouldn't have said during the case, and they did not. This is a prime example of how corrupt these courts are. Okay, there is a case against Sudama, and I won't discuss it live on air because I haven't asked him if I could, although he has, but I haven't asked him if I could this week. So they've got a case against him. Let's say the case is for painting a potato yellow. It's not, but let's pretend it is. Okay? He asked today when he was at Magistrates Court, which is supposed to be a court. That's what they say, Magistrates Court. It's a pantomime, really, with 3 idiots on the bench and another idiot who isn't quite good enough to be a judge, who's the expert on law. But in any event, he asked them for disclosure of evidence, and they didn't want to disclose that. So they're bringing forth a claim for painting this potato yellow, and that is not true. It's not really for painting a potato yellow. But they don't want to supply any evidence, and I don't get it. How can us as a people, how can we let this happen like this, whereby they don't have to give any, we don't want to tell you what our case is against you, but we're in here to find you guilty of it, and we could give you a custodial sentence. they've got the magistrates there that if it was allowed to proceed, then there would be every chance that painting a potato yellow could end up getting you a short prison sentence. So they would be happy to commit Sudama to prison without any evidence because they didn't want to tell what the evidence was. I mean, how childish is that? No, we're not going to tell you what our evidence is. Come on. Well, like, are you crazy or something? Have you been smoking fucking some sort of strange mushrooms before you came in here? What's the deal? Like, how can you bring a claim against somebody without any evidence? So Sudama did the right thing, and he said, "Well, no, I want to go to a proper court where they wear sheep's wigs on their heads and funny, colourful suits." I believe that's exactly what he said, but I could be wrong about that. I might be making that up, but it could be true. But I might be making it up. But he did. But in any event, he's going to Crown, so at least he has a fair shot at now getting this disclosure through. They did take, I believe, Sudama. They were going to take they were taking your disclosure seriously, but they were refusing, weren't they? I don't know
that's right. The CPS prosecution didn't want to. They said they didn't want to give me a full disclosure.
Yeah.
And at that point, I says, well, in that case, if I need to, I'll change my plea to not guilty. I'll make a plea and say not guilty so that I get the disclosure when I go to court.
Okay. And did you make it? And just for the benefit of the listeners, because I've spoken to you, you did make it clear that it was on the grounds that you needed to see if you needed independent legal advice, as per the Sarah Lioness way.
Yeah, I did say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you've also, have you faxed that to the court, or did you serve that on them, or what? How did you do it? You did it in writing also, didn't you?
No.
No.
No. No.
Okay, you want to be doing, you want to be doing that in writing as soon as possible as well, because in a lot of these cases with the magistrates' court, as I've discussed before, if you don't make it a matter of record, it didn't happen. So they could have just, they could, in effect, beat the crap out of you, kick you out of the court building, and then if you come back in and start whinging about it, they'll go, that never happened. You're making it up. So, another sort of thing you must make sure of is that you create some sort of a record. However you do it, it is up to you. You can do it in the form of affidavits. You can do it in many different ways. But I urge more and more people now to make some sort of a record of what is going on and the extent of how we're being attacked. People can probably tell I'm a little bit despondent tonight because, just feeling a bit down today. So I'm struggling with tonight's show, but it really is. I'm genuinely worried for the people in the masses because this is sneaking up at an alarming rate now. And I guess historically that just before any revolutions have happened, they seem to do their worst, if you like, before. They're at their very worst. They're trying to mug us for as much as they possibly can right now. And, I just hope that we can create something better and walk away from this system that we've created before it consumes us, and like I say, every week you've got to look in the mirror. Incidentally, when I made the analogy of were they smoking some sort of a strange mushroom earlier on, that doesn't matter. That's not meant to be offensive to anybody. It's just that they must have had way too much of it if they claim that they can bring a case against somebody without any evidence. So, Dr. David Kelly, I think 10 years to the day since David Kelly was found dead, and I know there was a vigil of some sort today, or a silence. I don't know exactly what it was at the High Court, and two good friends of mine were there. So hopefully we can hear about that soon, and I know that they've been tirelessly campaigning to try and get some sort of a proper inquest done into it, and trying to sort of bring forth evidence and one thing and another. But of course it always falls on deaf ears, and I think the information that surrounds it will be kept away from us for 70 years. So by the time, I certainly won't be around to see it. Well, I don't think I will, unless they put me in some sort of a jar and freeze me, but it would have to be a rather large jar. You know, so, you know, and there were people out doing that today because they cared about that, and that's all very good stuff. What else has been happening? Chunky Mark has been doing backward somersaults in his cab as usual, trying to shout the country into waking up to what's going on. It's yeah, there's just a lot of craziness. I don't know what the media news is speaking about for the last 4 weeks, because I haven't seen any of it. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on, and I don't know if anybody wants to pick up on anything I've said so far, because I can't see anything as usual in the chat.
Well, I'll give you them phone numbers out, Dave, which you haven't got, because you can't. I didn't want to interrupt you. You were on a good flow. You couldn't see them. So the telephone, if you want to join Dave live on air this evening, is from anywhere in the UK, is 0044 161 298 0298. Of course, if you're inside the UK, you just need to ring 0161 298 0298. Alternatively, you can Skype us at Bob's Backyard, and you can access the chat room via the website at www.darkcityradio.com.
Yeah, well, thanks for doing that, Paul. That's brilliant, and I hope people do, you know, take the trouble to ring in, even if it's just a shout at me. I don't mind. I'd like that tonight. But I just want to say, cover now a little bit of the Rick Simpson stuff and what's going on. I know we have covered it on, you know, the actual Rick Simpson show, but like I say, I've not been doing enough, and I should be doing more than I'm doing. So I just want to say, you know, everybody's sort of running around. We're getting donations to try and help set up the thing in Spain, which is absolutely superb. And like, even if it's 2 pence, if it's the only 2 pence you can spare, it's still very, very good of you to give 2 pence. It really is. It's just, this is something that will affect 50% of us in the next 20 years. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible illness. And again, the big corporations are keeping it under wraps, very much so. It was interesting, actually. I think the original page was shared by Sudama, and also just want to welcome back Mark Mann. Mark Mann's back. He's taken a bit of time out, and he shared it on the Facebook via Sudama, I think, or Lee, or one of the guys. The Queen Anne University in London, they'd been doing some major research, and it's good that we all know that the research is there, and we all know what the results have been. But when you try and tell somebody about the effects of the cannabis oil or the hemp oil, they again look at you like as if you've got a tail and a pair of horns, and you've been run over and you've suffered some sort of a strange injury that's made you crazy. But it's good that you've got at least some research that's been done by a university. As soon as people hear university and a doctor, it gives it, I guess, mainstream credibility. So it doesn't matter where the info comes from. It really, really doesn't matter, as long as the message, has been put out there, and we all know how much work Rick is doing, and we all know how much. Well, some people may not know just how much and just how committed people are to this radio station, and it is, we've got to keep this going. We really have got to keep this going, because it is one of the only places that you're going to find the truth, and it's certainly, I think, it's the only non-corporate radio station. Is that correct, Paul? Is it?
Yeah, we're the only non-corporate radio station that works on fully open source software. Open source. There's a lot of people working in open source, not just software open source. And basically they do what they can do, what they love to do, what they're good at, and they share the findings, or the profits, or whatever it might be. They share it openly with the rest. Of course, the old ideology of possession, of this is mine and you can't have it, is pretty much dying out. That we share technologies, ideas, everything really. It's just, that's what it's about really. That's open source. So we've had quite a few people that have joined us on Darkcity because they've realised the fundamental nature of what we're talking about. Like I say, we're part of the open source. Darkcity's radio is not the only open source. We are part of that community. I'm really proud to be there. Of course, we're using Skype at the moment. Mumble is there. We are getting there. Many people do need a little bit of time to go over these transitional periods, Dave. Yeah. At one point, I'd just say to you, the reason why we did do with the Compassion Club, the reason why we put it at 100 people at €300, it isn't to exclude the people, like you say, with a few. It's just the poorer people always give, Dave. Are you with me? So
that's correct, yeah.
And you're with me? They always do. And, you know, there's people out there, and it is coming. We've got about 10% now, just under, I think, 10%. We haven't launched the Indiegogo yet. You know, each one of those, what do you call them, donations materialises about £289, and we've got €2,700, I think, or something like that at the moment. So,
yeah.
Yeah, thanks to all them people who have.
And again, Paul, like this isn't for anybody to make any money out of when the thing is set up.
It'll make its own. Yeah, it should be able to.
This is really
its own finance. Yeah,
it's for the people. It's self-financing, and it's for the people to come stay and get better. I mean, like, what government's going to do that for you?
Dave, it's going to take us a few steps to get there. We have made some great improvements in the last few days regarding getting things set up. We really have. I mean, somebody's just offered me somewhere I can stay now to go over there. So that's I think it was at the end of August. It's free. So I'm definitely. I mean, I want to try and get over there before then, if possible. But that's really cool. And said thank you to that. But it is going to take us. Well, who knows? Once we launch the Indiegogo, who knows? We may be able to put in a full facility for people. But let's get it there. Let's get it started. There's a lot of people coming forward now, willing to share their knowledge and their information. Although it pains me to say it, we've just got to do it with the cash now. That's what we've got to do.
Yeah, and I think that the people, Paul, if I can just add to that, because it's almost like as if we're kind of like. We don't want to focus on the fact that you need cash to set the thing up, but because people will be like, oh, they're just doing it because they want to raise money. Well, no, nobody's doing this because they want to earn money. They're doing it to raise money to set it up, but nobody's going to be stealing money out of it and going out and spending frivolously on brand new furniture and kitting out a beautiful house. Don't think that way. That like Paul said the other day, we're looking at second-hand furniture, and the thing that matters here is the Rick Simpson hemp oil, that, and setting something up like a vision. Like, who would have a vision of wanting to help? That their primary purpose is nothing other than to help people. Like,
add to that quick, Dave, that Rick or myself won't take a wage out of it. Although people have said, look, you're going to be doing a full-time job, and that's what it's going to be. This is hard. It's going to be full-time work to be able to do this.
Yes, yeah.
And people are going to have to be employed to do it, of course, because they're going to be doing jobs, and that's a beautiful thing, that we can create jobs for people in this as well. But until this thing is up and running, I'm not interested. I'll get by, and if things go wrong, of course, and people need to, then that's fine, But myself and Rick, we're not interested in. Rick said it before. He says it on the main. If we can get by on what we've got, doing what, and just bear in mind, listeners, me and Rick Simpson are both hemp growers or cannabis growers. You give us a bit of space, we'll put your money trees in and they'll start growing money. That's what they do. This is real, tangible currency we're talking about here. And it's far more valuable than any of your fiat currencies. So, yeah, perhaps it might be a very good investment for
and the other,
like I say, it isn't about the money. We're going to use all the profits will be used to advance in cannabis, to advance the actual to move us into stage 2, where we have got bed and breakfast facilities. You know, we've got a nice area, we've got the research, we've got development, we've got industrial greenhouses, we can get it all set up, working with a lot of the ideas that have come into Darkcity. Now, a lot of people have been out there, or there's a couple in particular, saying it should be called Rick Simpson's Compassion Club. Look, Rick does not want his name in it, and neither do I. Alright? None of us really want his name in it. So, those trolls out there who keep going, oh, well, why is it? Listen to what Rick's saying. Will you? Please tune in. Stop spitting out information, right? Because you don't know what's being said. You know, you're taking second-hand information. You're not listening to what Rick's actually saying. So, save us a lot of time here. Save yourself a hell of a lot of embarrassment on the internet. You know what I mean? And I said it yesterday. We'll only take so much of it. You know, don't push us too far. You know, we are honourable, trusting people. That's where we do our best to live under, you know, what we call common law. We know it's not common to all, and we're not asking you to, but for us it's no loss, no harm, no deception, no breach of the peace. But I'll tell you, throw rocks at us, we'll knob off and do it somewhere else. Simple as that. If you want to take over, you want to be, that's fine. Come and do it. We don't mind. It's open source. It doesn't belong to anybody. So, yeah, there's a few people bickering over a name. Let's get this right. It's about us coming together cooperatively and working together and sharing our findings. It's not about what we call it. So, just so people know, the working title we had a bit of fun with was, what was it? Instead of the Hard Rock Cafe, it was the Hard Oil Cafe or the Hard Rick Cafe. So, yeah, it really is about getting that over and getting these, well, you know, fundamental ideas together and working together. And that's what Rick really wanted to do, to see Phoenix Tears and Darkcity. Well, he wanted Darkcity to come and work with Phoenix Tears, of course. That's what he asked us to do. And just one other point, so people can get this clarified in their head. Rick Simpson is part of the Darkcity crew. There is no hierarchy here. He's part of the Darkcity crew. If you've got any doubt about that, ask him. He's one of us lot, and we that's how it works. So yeah, those people who have tried to throw rocks at Mr. Simpson, he's got armour now.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's terrific, and like you say, no matter what you do, what you try to do to help people, where you go, there will always be some idiot either wanting to, you know, take over the thing and take charge and be in charge, or, you know, some idiot making things up that just aren't true and they're based on hearsay that they heard somebody's friend say, and all of this bullshit. Focus on the positive things. Why? Because in the next 20 years, if you stood next to somebody, look at them, and either you or the person you stood next to will be affected by cancer. You may not necessarily have it, but you'll be affected by it. And that will only be a very negative experience. And then you may remember the time where you started slating the people that were trying to bring to everybody's attention, the world's attention, because this is a worldwide radio show. The people who were working tirelessly to try and bring the information to you, and you condemned them. How about that? How would you feel then? So before you go condemning people or trying to take charge or calling this person an asshole or that person, their morals are wrong, they're doing this for the wrong reason, blah, 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 blah. Just stop and think for a moment and think what this is actually about. This isn't, you know, something small. This is huge. This is enormous. It's unstoppable. In my opinion, this is the most unstoppable thing I have seen since I have been awake. You know, in all of the time I've been awake, it's the most unstoppable thing. There are so many things that I can't see gathering enough pace. There really aren't. I don't know if people will realise that we're all but in a police state until it's too late. I really don't. People are just so scared. But this hemp oil, you know, curing cancer, they can't shut it up. They can't, because it's like trying to plug a hole in some sort of a dam or something. It doesn't matter what you do, the water will just keep finding its way through, and it's the same with this. Whatever people do to try and shut it up, however people try and discount it, evidence and facts, proof. There is clear proof that this is working. So bring it on. If you want to try and discount anything, or try and call us something, phone in now. If you've got something clever to say, phone in and tell me. If you've got the balls, phone in now and tell me. But I bet the phone won't ring, because all you want to do, all you people that troll and throw rocks at Rick Simpson, all you'll do is type on a keyboard, because you're not brave enough. You're not brave enough to come onto a live worldwide radio and actually say what you're claiming, because you can't prove it. Or because you've got no
just let me point out, Dave, that this very same person has got a website that says Rick Simpson's Oil for Sale and gives you a phone number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a surprise.
So, yeah, look, the thing about, the most important thing, if you're getting into this, and look, I encourage everyone to produce their own if you can, even on a very small scale. It doesn't matter where you are, really doesn't. I mean, like Sodoma, if it does come to it, go to the main court. The worst thing that's going to happen in that case is 1 year imprisonment. That's where it stands now. That's the worst scenario if you're an independent grower on your own with less than 9 plants, or 9 plants with less. So, if that does actually occur with you, I mean, look, you want to live and take a chance and go to prison for a year? I mean, you wouldn't do that. You do a maximum of 4 months. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if that does occur, in one side of this crazy game that's being played at the moment, you will be a criminal. On our side of the fence, you will be a hero. A hero.
And Paul, can I
just stand fast against them, brothers and sisters. That's what I'm saying. Just stand fast against them. They can't put us all in. Well, they might do actually, but they might just call it the UK and lock us all. Yeah.
But I just want to say on that, the 4 months in prison, you go down the chemotherapy route, and I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not qualified to give medical advice. You go down the chemotherapy route, you will be in worse than a 4-month prison sentence. You will be in the worst possible state you could imagine.
Dave, I'm not medically trained neither. I can just look at figures and, I'm not too bad at mathematics, and more people die of the treatment than actually die of cancer.
Yeah. So, and what, I was talking about it today, when I went up to Leicester and in a car with a guy, and I just can't get into my head that people would even think twice about it. That, oh no, I can't grow that, it's illegal, I've got to die. Like, just say that out loud. Just say that out loud. I can't do that, it's illegal, I've got to die. Just say it a couple of times. Just say it. Does it make any sense?
Lee, will you mute your microphone while you're grinding your weed, mate? Cheers. Thank
you. And Paul, it's just crazy. I know this is supposed to be the personal navigation show, but we need to keep spreading this word now.
Dave, this is personal navigation, man. Taking control back for your own well-being, man. This is what you're saying in court. You say it, they've got to stand up, they've got to defend themselves, they've got to do it. They can't go in and do what Dave says, they've got to go in and do what they're doing. It really is, man. As far as I'm concerned, it's all part and parcel, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I know you've felt a few times that you want to do more, Dave, and I've said this to you off there, you've done loads, you do loads, you don't believe it, your passion, the numbers, the people come, they like your show, you put it out there. Look, that's all we can ask of everyone, really. I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's all we can ask. The fact that other people have come along and done more and doing more, that we've got pledges, people have made pledges and people have come good with them. And even if that's a bit late, we've managed to get over there. That's going to help again. Whatever we can keep coming in as that foundation is going to assist us and push us into stage 2. Stage 2 is we're talking quite a large place here. We've asked people over there in Spain, they're telling us what's missing. that vision we had of putting there, of a health centre type place with the research and development all on house. You come there, you can relax, you can take your medicine. That's where we want to be. Of course, stage 2, we'll still be able to do that on a smaller scale. Of course, you'd have to rent an apartment, perhaps, and we'd look around. We've got people who are willing to do that ridiculously cheap. You know, somebody's offered me one today for electric and service charges only. People are coming together, Dave. They really are. Like I say, I don't want to take it away from the fact that we do need 100 people to put in €300 each. A third of that puts us on the ground. 2/3 of that we're up and running, and the last third pays the bills for the end of the year and takes the pressure off. When the Indiegogo goes up, that is going to be set for 35. I think it's set for 35, but we're going to leave it open. Leave it open. I mean, who knows? Who knows? By then, Rick's doing this big push, and thanks to Barry and the people, our brothers and sisters over in Canada, and all the individual clubs that are just coming together. This is the time to put down these bygones, these arguments. They've got the right idea, these have got the wrong idea. They're just ideas.
Yeah.
That's all they are. They're ideas. Let's put some of them into volition. Let's give some of them a go. Let's see if some of them work. Of course, we don't need to do that regarding cannabis. This is an easy one. It's really easy. All the people who've come, I don't want to say before us. I mean, I've been. I was shown how to make oil years and years and years ago. Just because, not for medical grounds. It wasn't on medical grounds. It was because of the waste products. The people who've done this often have known about it. And to be honest, Rick Simpson's really good. I mean, we didn't blow anything up, but you really shouldn't be doing it when you're going camping on a gas stove. You really shouldn't.
Solvent.
No, it's not a good idea. But hey, if it's dead windy, you should be all right. No, don't do it, folks. Don't do it. Seriously, no naked flames, no smoking, no sparks, no forms of ignition. And to be honest, I'd keep it away from any electrical sources as well. Okay, you're going to have some kind of warming device to do it, but yeah, be really careful with that. It is a tricky way of doing it. And of course, there's other ways of doing it for extracting other parts of it. Spoke with Rick for about an hour today, about all these different things that are coming out now regarding this and different treatments for different things. It's amazing stuff, and a big salute to Jeff over in Spain. Helped us out again loads today, just pointing us in the right direction, really, because of the experience and all them people who work in that amazing organisation that he runs there. I mean, doesn't want us to mention who they are and stuff. I mean, but yeah, it's all good. It's all good, and yeah, there's going to be. I tell you, all you people who are actually channeling in this ideology of open source, it's fast. When the community out there, and I don't know, I mean, within the Linux community, when Dan, who's been helping us out, Dan Bedoyd or Don McDonald, it depends where you know him from. Without his interaction into the open source community, we perhaps wouldn't have grasped how to go about this, with how to get there so quick by allowing people to do what they're good at, do what you're good at, and then focus his energies together. We've had people offer us artwork and all sorts of stuff to put up. If I knew how to do it, I'd do it. But yeah, the Flemings, a couple there, we'll sort something out. I mean, because people, how can you say no, Dave? And I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no to anybody. What I'm saying is I don't know how to do it. But we will work it out. That's what we do. We'll work together. We'll sort the problems and we'll make it real. What else can we do now? We do know. We'd be willfully ignorant otherwise, Dave, and I couldn't live with myself.
No. Yeah, the other thing I want to add as well, from the court perspective of this, if anybody is worried, if you are attacked for growing this for medicine, get every fucking DVD, get every single bit of literature you can find, literature from universities, literature from doctors, okay? You're ill and you're dying, okay? What judge is going to send you, really think about this, What judge, if we have a just society, if you present him with that amount of evidence, is going to send you to prison for trying to save your own life? Really think about that. Because if they do, and you make yourself, and you fix yourself, what the fuck does it matter? It doesn't matter. Let the wighead send you down. 4 months. 4 months is nothing. It's nothing. It's just a walk in the park. You can use it to get your strength back. You can use it to educate more people. You can tell your story. Think about that. All those people inside who get to know your story. That's the guy that saved himself. He saved himself from cancer using hemp oil, and he ended up getting sent to prison for it. That's a fucking hero. Or that lady there, she's a hero. Look what she did. And she came to prison for it, and she doesn't give a fuck. This is what you've got to do. You've got to stand up for your rights. Don't worry about legalizing it. Legalization is bad. Remember, this is a right. We've got to start asserting our rights. This thing is unstoppable. It is unstoppable, and you can defend yourself. You really can. I mean, some of the things we were hearing last night, the defences with the wigheads was weak. It was unbelievable. I mean, I think the Darkcity crew could have certainly done a better job. It's unbelievable, and people just, I said this is, a special tonight. We really, really have got to start acting. The Rick Simpson thing is cool. It's superb. It's amazing. It's beautiful. You've got to get involved in whatever way you can do it. Even if you send £1 to help people set it up, or you just phone in to the Rick Simpson or the Not So Rick Simpson show. Phone in, give your support, tell your story, explain how you're feeling. If you're worried about, being victimized by the police for growing something that's natural, if you're worried about that, call in and speak, because when we're unified in this, and if you've got like-minded people around you, you'll get their energy. You'll feel their energy. You'll feel their love and support, and that goes a long way. We can't always be physically wherever you are, but I know yesterday for the likes of Liam, who'd never done anything like that before, Sudama going in today in a very light-hearted way, I know that they would have felt supported by us, even though we weren't there. So we need people to phone in. This show goes right the way around the world. All of the shows do, right the way around the world. Phone in. Why don't get involved? Really, we really, really want you to be involved. We want you to be part of it. Nobody's taking charge or being in charge or trying to keep it to themselves. We want this to be a joint thing. It's got to be the people as one, all of us together, all of us focusing our energy on something completely positive, not focusing our energy on the lying, cheating, thieving scum, or Boris Johnson or whatever other idiot they let have power in the stinking rotten pig hole of Houses of Parliament or whatever. Really focus your energy positively. Look, do the research for yourself. Get on the shows. Support Rick. Support the Darkcity crew. This is what we need. This is the most crucial time in our lives. We are at a crucial point. This to me, how I feel. It's make or break. People aren't enjoying lives like they used to. They're not, having a quality of life, because we're getting pillaged and plundered all of the time, and the people who I see making the most are the people with not much money at all. And, I go from hand to mouth, although I've got a business of sorts. Like, I go from hand to mouth, and I struggle. I really do. I really struggle. And I work a lot of hours to do that. And I am one of those people who is not having a quality of life. But I spend the spare time I have trying to help people. I don't spend the spare time I have making sure I'm okay. So wouldn't everybody who would judge me for being outspoken, like the members of my own family who have judged me in the past for being outspoken and for saying what I think, where are you now? What are you doing? Did you offer to help anybody? You trying to make this world a better place? No. Yet you judge me. But I'm here helping you, regardless of how you treated me. And that's the way I want everybody to think. I want everybody to pull together. I don't know if you want to add to that, Paul, but that was my rant.
Bloody good rant, mate. I don't know what else we could put on there. I really don't. You know what you said about people ringing in, and when they do that, when somebody does actually ring in, Wednesday night we have people ringing in. Well, people ring in all times. I've even had people ring me up when we've had replays because they think it's live, and that's cool. It's all cool, but when they do, man, worth its weight in gold.
It's heartening.
It's worth its weight in gold. I've seen some beautiful things. I've seen some horrendous stories. Again, I spoke to a guy today because one was been pulling on my heartstrings for a while. And although the advice was right, it was hard advice to take. Sometimes you can't do anything. Sometimes you can't. There are people in countries that they will be killed for this medicine. They will kill them for it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not here to try and save anybody. I'm not, and that sounds a bit weird from the guy who's trying to set up, with his crew at least, to try and set this up. I'm trying to give people quality and decency of life. There are those that are not going to make it. I don't want to see any more of our heroes locked up or dead. No more fallen heroes. Let's have living heroes from now on. That's where I want to go with it, bro. I really do. It's let the bygones be bygones, let the past be the past. Yeah, you're right, man. They said I've been a lunatic for 20, 30 years now. Yeah, look where we are now. We're the idiots. We're the crackheads, the lunatics, the nutters, look where we are now. Yeah. We are about to do this. It is going to happen. We've done it. So, and the irony of it is, we welcome you all. They're all welcome.
Yeah. It is amazing, and you see it all the time, and I guess I talked quite a bit with people off air, and the family aspect of it is a real biggie because it's so difficult. It really is. There's one guy I've been speaking to. And he's quite young. I think he's like 17 or something, but he's started getting involved with a lot of this stuff and waking up. I think, we all refer to it as waking up. I mean, he got on the phone to me and I couldn't shut him up. I literally, but he was down every single rabbit hole that you could imagine. And I said to him, his name was Liam too. I said, Liam, does the government lie? Exactly like you said to me that day in that court. Yeah. And he stopped and he went, well, yeah, because of the... Right, Liam, that's all that matters. Does the government lie? That is all that matters. Okay? Focus your energy on positive things. Okay? Don't... I've seen my own family members when my father was dying. I don't know, this might not be a great thing to talk about on air. But when my father was dying, they were thinking that I was there counting the money. Why they would think that, I don't know, because I've never, ever, ever given a shit about money. I don't care how much money I've got. I just try and do the best with what I've got. But my little boy, my brother's little boy was diagnosed with something quite serious that spending money on could have had a huge benefit. It hasn't even all been sorted out yet. But I was the only family member that said, you know, all of that's mine, take it, use it for your son.
You've got a break.
I was the only one. Pardon?
Got a break coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And on that, I suppose we'll break. If we come back on for 15 minutes, Paul, and maybe call it a day.
I'll run it through, mate. No worries. We'll be back.
Yeah. Okay.
Beginning for mankind. New beginning. Finally, after all these years, what I know the healing abilities of these oils has all been proven to be true. So of course, I'm Rick Simpson, and this is the Darkcity Radio Show. Darkcity Radio Show. Darkcity Radio Show. Darkcity Radio Show. This is about the medicinal use of cannabis. Lately, we've been trying to get this thing going together in Spain, you know, so people can come and get treatment, you know, after the Compassion Club was hoping to form. Darkcity Radio and Compassion Club was hoping to form. I had the pleasure of coming into contact with Paul Hastings and all the other great people he is working with at Darkcity Radio. Compassion Club utilizes this magnificent plant in every conceivable way. It will do much to promote peace and harmony among nations. Peace and harmony among nations. Being a new beginning for mankind. So I hope you will support our plan to build a better way of life that will give both mankind and this earth as we know it a future.
They said we could not do it. They said it wasn't possible. But we did it. We created a free radio station to bring the people together and spread an alternative message from the mainstream. They tried to silence us. They tried to hack us. But we carried on. You cannot silence the truth. You cannot enslave freedom. You cannot stop a good idea. You cannot stop Darkcity Radio. The crew is now eager and stronger than ever before. We will not be kept off the airwaves. We will continue. This is not our radio. This is your radio. This is Darkcity Radio.
This is your Darkcity. This is your Darkcity.
This is your Darkcity.
This is your Darkcity. This is your Darkcity.
This is your Darkcity Radio.
It's a personal navigation, the 18th of July, and we've been talking about a lot of different things tonight. Personal navigation of a sort, I guess. Trying to get the people to look in the mirror. Trying to get the people who sit there judging. Look at them over there, as Chunky Mark says. Look at those people over there. It's their fault. It's not their fault. It's your fault. Look in the mirror. You're to blame. You let it happen. I let it happen. We all let it happen. But we have to change. We have to change this world for the better. We have to take control of our rights. You know, we're seeing it on a daily basis now on the Facebook. People are sharing, you know, like you say, there's open source stuff going on all of the time. There was a video somebody posted the other day there of two guys who were enforcing their rights. Think about that. They strapped two machine guns to themselves, well, one each, and a handgun in their pocket, loaded, and walked down the street in America, as is their right. And they're trying to stop that right. Okay, and on that video, I just want to talk about what happened there, because we can enforce our rights. And remember, enforcing our rights. Not fighting, just standing up for our rights, enforcing our rights, reminding these pigs or these brainwashed idiots that we have such things. And this policeman in America did everything he could to try to, get a name, and these guys were like, well, no, we're just, exercising our rights. It was a brilliant video. I don't know if I could post it in the chat box, or if somebody could post it in a chat box. It was on my Facebook under I Love This Cop or something like that. I think it was on Dean Clifford's page, and a few of the boys shared it with me. But I guess the most interesting part was that they knew that they had a right. The policeman knew that they had a right, but he was still concerned that they were walking down a street in the middle of the day with live ammo and live weapons, and these were machine guns. They were pretty serious things. But in the end, he got to inspect one of the guy's machine guns, and he took the magazine out and etc. What he was inspecting it for, I really don't know. He said to see if it was a round barrel. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. But I guess that there was a key part of the video where he was like, well, I'm just making sure, that you don't want to give your name and your details and etc. and where you live. And they were like, well, no, we kind of don't. But, and then for some reason, one of them gave their name. And the minute they gave their name, the minute it happened, he got his notebook out and started writing. And they went, no. You see, that's the problem. We gave you a name, we gave our name, and now you're gonna start digging. You're gonna start. If it's okay with you, we're going. We don't want anything. And they walked off. They parted company on good terms, and the cop respected their rights. And there's another video somebody shared there. Some guy over in America, and I mean, if they're brave enough to, but these police in America aren't like our police. I mean, our police have got tasers, and they need to be trained how to use them, I guess, because I think they use the same method as they use for training monkeys, I believe, or something similar to that. But I think they tried them out on monkeys first. They trained monkeys to use them, and then they decided that if monkeys were able to use them, that they would give them to the police force. But out in America, they're armed. They have real guns that would kill you dead, properly dead. And this guy is standing by his car, and he is saying, this is my fucking property, nobody else's. And he was standing up for his right. I've got the right to life, liberty, and property, and you're not going to take it away from me. He was, again, enforcing his rights. And they were gobsmacked. They were standing there like fucking goldfish. This is what we need to do. It's not going to be nice. We're going to get thrown in cells. Who cares? We're in a prison anyway. We're in a mind prison. We're in a so-called freedom where we're controlled to an unbelievable limit. We're in a prison where we're told how much money we're going to pay. And even if we can't pay it, even if if you shook us upside down, hung us upside down for 2 days, nothing would come out. And they still, if you don't pay it, we're going to come and steal everything that you have. We're going to send some idiot from a debt collection company, aka a bailiff. We're going to send them round to your house, and we're going to steal everything you have and leave you with nothing. That's what we're going to do to you. Well, no, we don't have to let this happen. We let this happen. I cannot drum it into you enough. We did it, and we can fix it. As it is done, so it shall be undone. Okay? We can do it. We have the power. People have the power. Our rights are gone out of the window. Who let them fly out of the window? We did. We need to change. Hemp oil is curing people of cancer. It's curing people all the time. The information's out there. We're trying to set something good up. We're trying to set something beautiful up. But we need your help. We can't do it all on our own. We will do it all on our own if that's what it takes. And hook or by crook, we will do it. And eventually, we will all be remembered for what we did. Although that's not our reason for doing it. But we need your help. We need you to phone in. Even if you want to phone in and abuse me, I don't care. Phone in, abuse me. I'd rather you phone in and abuse me than sit behind a keyboard going, we don't like you. You say the wrong things. Yeah, well, come on the radio, talk to me, ring in the Dark City, ring in the Rick Simpson Show, ring in the Dark City Round Table, phone in, give us your opinion, give us your information. That's what we need. We need the people. Strength through unity, unity through strength. So, Paul, over to you.
The Dark City Facebook group. Mark Mann's post that I love the cop best, the best open carry cop ever.
Cool.
Just posted it there for you, man. Also, Mark posted something. I think it was Warrington County Council are now telling people that cannabis is more dangerous than crack cocaine, and heroin. Excuse me. So, yeah, we are up against.
Oh, can somebody send me that information, because I will send some affidavits up to Warrington.
I've just been looking for it. I've just been looking for that and I know Mark did post it today, or at least he posted it from somewhere else. So yeah, it is definitely out there. It's happened in a couple of places. We heard a little bit about it on the soft targeting and taking.
I don't know if anybody knows, and I really should know this. I know I've looked before. This is probably a job for Lee, although I know he's got a visitor at the moment or something's going on, but or he's almost certainly the other side of the room. But do we have in the UK a public recorder's office? Does anybody know the answer to that? I have Googled it and I couldn't find something definitive, but I didn't know if anybody had that knowledge that they could share with us.
I definitely don't know, Dave.
Because that's where we need to get this stuff on. You know, like, if they're making claims, this Warrington Council are making claims, like, we need to get DVDs piled, you know, higher than your head. And we need to get affidavits and statutory declarations, and we need to be filing them with the facts and evidence of the hemp oil and what it's been doing. We need to file facts and evidence that we've presented the information and made the information available to government, and they ignored us. We need to get that recorded somewhere on the record, so that if something big happens, that somebody's going to find the records. This is what we need to do. It's all about what we do now, how we act, our personal navigation. Because if we all just sit down and do nothing, and just let it happen, we're going to be fucked. We really are going to be fucked. And I really don't think that people realise the seriousness of it, the seriousness of the situation that we are finding ourselves in. We really need to act. So, would anybody like to add to that?
Well, we can always throw something in. We can always.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's all right, man. I mean, the thing we said a while, you know, just your sentiments about people ringing in and stuff, you know, whether they're for or against us, you know, we're here, and you know, people will be respectful as possible. You know, but I don't suffer fools gladly. I really don't. And I mean, I suppose I've got something to learn there. I'm not quite sure what I might have to be able to learn from it, but and sometimes I'm a little bit short-tempered, you know. I can be very sharp with my wit. I can be incredibly sarcastic, and a lot of the time people get a bit iffy, and that's understandable. You know, we all have as little faults and as flaws, but you know, for the majority of what we do here in life, that we don't have, you know, we don't have major issues. If we are willing to kind of step up, then you know, it's the time. You know, it's the time. If we don't, well, I don't know. I don't know the future. But you know. Like I say, we've got councils going around blatantly lying, courts locking up 14-year-old blind children for murder who had no active part or role in it, and we've got people who are trying to cure themselves of cancer being deemed as criminals, outlaws, heroes on our kinds of side of the fence, you know. And that is it for me. Anyone who takes responsibility for themselves and their own well-being, that's a big step. It really is. We've been held responsible for everybody else's mess for such a long time. To have somebody like me telling you to sort out your own now after everything else, or you, Dave, you know, I don't want people to take us wrong. I've still got work to do on me. I'm sure the rest of us, if we're honest about it, except for a couple of people we've got who are pretty damn perfect, actually. Can't knock spots off some of them here. But like I say, my point here is, you know, by recognising our flaws and being open and honest about it, people can assist us. We do get help where it's required. And that's what we're about now. We've spent, I think it's 4 months with the Rick thing. It's probably half the amount of time almost we've been on air. But on the other side of it, it took us 4 months to smash through the corporate stream. How many more months will it take before we smash through? Who are we going to get next, brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
Who are we getting next? Because I'm telling you, they stand in our way, we will roll right over them. Right over them. Join us. Please, join us. There's room for everyone. There really is. But I reckon it's about time to take down the petrochemical companies, the pharmaceutical companies. I think we're ready. Well, I know we're ready with the pharmaceuticals. I'm not saying, you know, all doctors and nurses are wrong. I mean, you know, you have an accident, you need stitches and, you know, fine. But this long perpetuation of, you know, 800 people a day being diagnosed with cancer, probably, what, 20% maybe, 25%, they got it right. The other 75% will have it by the time they finish giving you that treatment. If you have, you will have. You know, the alternative should be used first. That's what I'm saying. You know, I really am. I saw a little baby today, and he was dying, and his dad took him. Excuse me, I've got somebody putting a radio on in the room. You know, they're giving his child chemotherapy. You know, his child's he's struggling. You know, they're telling him he might not make it, and the father took cannabis oil in and slipped it into a feeding tube. And you get on and have a look at that guy. You know, he don't care. His evidence is this 2-year-old kid jumping up and down, having a great time. You know, he's look at him. He can eat. He's got an appetite. He's eating, and that happened within minutes of it. You know, minutes of it actually. So amazing effects, man. Absolutely amazing effects. Okay, I know children are amazing little healers in themselves, but can't keep killing people with a so-called cure. How stupid can we be? You know, the hard cold facts are that the majority of people that are dying of chemotherapy, radiation treatments of some description.
I believe, sorry to interrupt, I believe that video was the one, do you remember when I talked about me posting that on a family member's Facebook page, and she removed it and put a picture of a fucking blue plate on there? Can you remember? I don't know if any of you guys have listened to that show.
Oh, I do.
That's what she did, yeah. It's like, it's ludicrous. It is ludicrous. Sorry, I'm really sorry to interrupt you there, Paul.
No, it's your show, bro.
Something sort of so important and so poignant and so heartening. This beautiful, heartening story. She's not afraid. All she's afraid of is what people will think of her. That's all she cares about. What her friends, what her so-called friends will think of her for having such a thing on her Facebook page. Replace it immediately with a blue plate. A beautiful blue plate. It's bullshit. I just can't believe the stupidity of people. And we say, you know, people phoning in and you know, the Rick Simpson stuff we've been touching on quite a lot tonight. And, we should definitely welcome our good friend all the way from Canada, Barry Prince, who is fucking relentless.
Just give it, Barry, relentless. Nice to see you, but just listen to this. Just come in. Warrington Council withdrew their campaign and closed their webpage for being inundated with complaints They are now being questioned about the costs and other inappropriate comments. There you go.
Wow. Yeah, I've just received that now, and thanks again. That was it Mark Mann that shared that, wasn't it?
That came from Uncle Larry, Uncle Stephen. It came from Uncle Stephen. Yeah, he's just texted that to me. So, yeah, Mark. I think it was Mark who put it. And I also want to say just quickly as well, welcome back, Mark, man. Great to see have you back with us. Yeah, it's good. He's about again. Anyway, go on, Barry, mate.
Come on, Barry. Tell us what you've been doing. Because I'm going to be up on top of that bus with a fucking megaphone going through Canada, shouting and bawling. I'm going to be dressed as the artist taxi driver, and I'm going to be shouting at people.
Well, be here on the 19th, because we're leaving on the 19th for the Lower Mainland, Dave. That's the plan right now. Like I said, I got a 24-foot motorhome. Even if my buddy can't make this trip with me, he's going to let me use the motorhome. So... got a real cool vehicle to drive around BC, and it runs on propane, so it's not too bad on fuel, Dave. So you're welcome to come and do the trip. Be in Terrace on the 18th. We're going to leave on the 19th.
And if it fucks up,
Barry, then you can fix it.
You got somebody who's on the coach with you who can fix it.
There you go, Dave. I knew there was a reason. I knew there was a reason for this. I need an onboard mechanic. Seriously, Dave, you should be here for that date and come on this trip with me and Rick. It's like I was talking to Paul Hunt and Joe Fort in Vancouver this morning. SFU is confirmed now. Rick's going to be speaking at Simon Fraser University. They are actually gone to the point where they're the university. They're going to be speaking in the main auditorium in the Burnaby campus, and it'll be put out to all 3 campuses in Vancouver. So that's cool. That was confirmed this morning. Paul Hunt is a super activist right now in Vancouver. He's got his fingers in just about everything. And we're going to be speaking at SFU. And that, to me, is one of the biggest bonuses of the whole trip. He's going to send me this in writing tonight. Then I'm going to go and approach a few other universities here, Dave, on the circuit. And say, hey, look, these guys are going to let them listen. What the fuck's wrong with you guys? Huh?
That's what I was trying. I've been covering tonight as well, Barry. It's the young. And I know we've talked about it, privately, but it's the young who are gonna end up. We're implementing it. We're shouting it from the rooftops, but ultimately the young people are going to be brought up with this stuff, and they ain't going to be able to stop it. And Barry Prince is one of the most relentless people that we know. He is like, whenever he gets the chance, he's on the Dark City radio, And like Barry, carry on about what you've got lined up. But I just wanted to add that about the young people and the positivity of the young people coming into it,
Yeah, we've gone over that before, Dave, and I think it's the most important thing that we can do right now is reach the young minds, because they're the ones that are going to grab this, take a look at what really is going on in this planet and what is going on with their environment and everything else, and say, hey, it's time to get active. And I hope that we can inspire a few of them down there to get active. If we inspire 10, the whole trip is worth the time. But I think it's going to be more than that, Dave, because and Paul, because just the fact that we can talk in front of the university students, well, that's a big bonus, guys. These people aren't stupid, and maybe we can open a few eyes. So awesome. That'll make the whole trip worthwhile, Dave, just to be able to speak to the university. Now, I said, Joe's going to confirm this with me, get it in writing, so I can send this to other people on the circuit, and they can approach other universities on the circuit, and maybe we can get 3 of them to listen to Rick on the road. Cool. That's what I'm working on.
And if I can find a way, Barry, could I bring Paul with me? If we can find a way to cover what he does, can we bring Paul?
Yes, we
on
can.
The road. Cool.
Yes, we can. It's a 24-foot motorhome. 24-foot motorhome. It'll sleep 4 people. It is what it is. The only beauty of this is I don't have to worry about getting a motel on my trip down. And if we, I'm the kind of guy that doesn't want to bother people for accommodation. Everybody's offering us accommodations down there, but I'd rather just be able to hang out and do what we want to do, have our own space. And people down there have already told me that, like in Vancouver, for example, we're not going to be able to drive the 24-foot motorhome. Well, Joe's going to take 3 days off or a couple days off there. It's on the weekend anyway, so we've got chauffeurs all over the city already lined up, and Penticton is developing very, very nicely right now. Miss Hazel's going crazy on it. I got a call coming in for Rick right now, guys. Can I step out for just a sec here?
Yeah, no problem. Speak to you in a bit.
I just talked to Rick here for a minute, guys. I'll be right back.
Cool. Yeah, no, and Paul, you were keener to maybe save the money and spend it on the the Spain project. So
yeah, I'm a bit of a fanatic, Dave. You might have noticed.
Yeah, no, I forgot that after I mentioned that then. But
no, but look, man, I've got to learn to start saying yes, thank you, and stuff. And if people sort things out, they sort things out. I mean, I really want to get this so it can be done mobile, so I'm not here. I want to get out there. That was my little angle on it. I want to get to places and be that roaming reporter for Dark City, if you like. Where the thing about the Dark City, Phoenix Tears, Compassion Club, whatever it's called, why the thing Dark City is there is because there will be a Dark City ground station put in place. Why wouldn't it? This is the whole idea. Of course we're going to use the media stream, and that's our angle. It will go in. So, and it will be live. The internet access will be given. The stream will be backed up with a bitmine. It'll help work with the rest of them. Cooperative working together. And that is another way, actually, if people do want to support us here at Dark City. And just so people know as well, everything we get over the running costs at Dark City is automatically being shoved over as well. And a couple of people have made mistakes, one in particularly. And you'll notice, if you can, please make sure you're hitting the right button on the side. All right, we have tried to keep them completely far apart, but no worries. I've transferred things and sorted that out. But every time we make a mistake, these thieving, cheating thugs, they have us over. We've got to use these tools of the devil at the moment. Eventually, we won't need to. But we do have a Bitcoin address, and it should be available somewhere at least. And if people do want to contribute that way, they can do. If anybody in the Bitcoin community wants to join in, I'd prefer to deal in something that we don't pay the banks. I'll tell you. But yeah, just going back to the Mark Mann has now posted in the Dark City Facebook, Dark City Radio TV. Remember, get the right one. About Warrington. Borough Council, they actually said that heroin was less dangerous than cannabis. And then we asked them if they could refer to articles. And anyway, basically, when they couldn't win the debate, they've withdrawn their website and so forth. But just for your convenience, Mark has posted a PDF file, which actually gives you what they've removed. So yeah, which is quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the way that we're going to beat what's going on, because immediately they do something dumb. Somebody's got it. Somebody's recorded it. Somebody's written it down, like you say, making a public record of things. This is how we're going to beat them, because they have no chance. We're all over them like a rash. We really are, and this is the sort of thing, that makes me feel positive. And you all know I was quite glum when I came on tonight, and as usual, I was dreading doing the show. And I don't know, there's just so many heartening things that have happened, even just being on tonight, and speaking on here and sort of airing out what's been going on, airing out my views, and sort of trying to rally a bit of support for what's going on, and trying to wake people up and make people look in the mirror and take some action. So thanks everybody for their sort of input. I mean, I'm happy to bring the show to a close on that note, if you're okay with that, Paul, so I can sit down and get on with some paperwork. And on that, I think...
Yeah, no worries, man, we can do that. We are on it, because we'll put a bit of music on for half an hour, and if there's anything else comes in, we'll do the Dark City. We'll put a Dark City show on there in about 30 minutes' time. But just a thanks. If we don't get on, just a thanks to all those people who have been posting the latest Rick Simpson video out there, and a lot of the forums and stuff. Please keep posting that. Let's try and make it as viral as we can. Focus our energies on this one little project. I know we're asking a lot. I know everybody's got their own little things going at the moment. But have a look at what we're doing here, and I'm sure you'll see it'll be beneficial to all these so-called movements. let's pull the wheels off it, let's end it, and let's give people the tools they actually need to empower themselves. So yeah, right on, Dave. Brilliant show, man. Thanks once again.
Well, thanks ever so much, and once again, we all welcome Mark Mann back. It's good to have you back, and thanks for helping posting stuff and stuff like that. So, and thanks again to all the people that have, you know, put input into the show. Thanks for people listening. Thanks for people in the chat box. I really do hope that soon somebody's going to ring up and abuse me. But thanks ever so much for everything that everybody's doing. Really appreciate it. And good night.
To promote peace and harmony among nations. Being a new beginning for mankind. New beginning. New beginning. Finally, after all these years, what I have been telling the public about the healing abilities of these oils has all been proven to be true. Well, of course, I'm Rick Simpson, and this is the Dark City Radio Show. Dark City Radio Show. Dark City Radio Show. Dark City Radio Show. This is about the medicinal use of cannabis. Lately, we've been trying to get this thing going together in Spain, you know, so people can come and get treatment, you know, at a compassion club we hope to form. Dark City Radio Compassion Club we hope to form. I had the pleasure of coming into contact with Paul Hayden and all the other great people he is working with at Dark City Radio. Compassion Club we utilize this magnificent plant in every conceivable way. It will do much to promote peace and harmony among nations. Peace and harmony among nations. Being a new beginning for mankind. So I hope you will support our plan to build a better way of life that will give both mankind and this earth as we know it